Welcome to all. I am Sanal Thomas and I am a final year B.Ed student of St. Joseph Training College, Manna. So in this video session, we are trying to analyzing in depth the importance of public administration. So as we all know that there are a number of governmental institutions. So and each institution has its own unique functions to perform in our society. So here we are analyzing the importance of public administration.
A public administration is concerned with the administration of government. So it is the definitions given by a Western administrative thinker Gladden who analyzed the public administration. So from these definitions we can understand that the important area of public administration is governmental administration. So the public administration is the effective utilization of men and material for the purpose of the implementation of existing laws. So the governmental policies, programs and the developmental projects. So the governmental institutions are the part of the public administrations. So they function for the welfare of the people. So an administrative system that is needed for the government to exist and function. So the history of the public administrations begins with the formation of the states. So based on the differences in the form of government, we can find differences in the public administration also. That is, during the monarchy, the interest of the monarch was the basis of public administration. But in a democratic system, the importance is given to the interest of the people. The democratic administration becomes more effective and efficient through the public administration. Okay, now we are going to study what is the important or the significance of public administrations. So the uh, importance of the public administrations are it should be useful for formulate governmental policies, ensure the welfare of the people, and find out the solutions to any kind of public issues, and it also provide goods and services to the public. Now we are going to study in detail what is a bureaucracy and its features. So a bureaucracy is constituted to help and advise the government and they execute the programs. So a public administrative system from local to the national level is constituted for this. Several employees have been appointed for the day-to-day functioning of these institutions. So the bureaucrats makes the public administration system dynamic. So all the services of the government reach the public through bureaucrats. So the employees who work under the public administrative system and administer the country are together known as bureaucracy. So a bureaucracy is in simple we can say that a bureaucracy is the employees who are working together under a public administrative system and administrative the country together. So a country develops when human and material resources are utilized to the maximum. So it is the bureaucracy with the prepare plans for their scientific utilization and implements them effectively. Okay, now we are going to analyzing the features of bureaucracy. There are almost five important features for bureaucracy. They are hierarchical organization, permanence, appointment on the basis of qualification, political neutrality, and professionalism. First of all, we should see what is a hierarchical organization. The bureaucracy is organized in such a way that there is one employee at the top and the number increases when it reaches the lower levels. So this is known as what? The hierarchical organization. And the second one is permanence. A person appointed will continue in service till the age of retirement. That is known as permanent. And the third one is appointment on the basis of qualifications. That is, the employees are recruited and appointed on the basis of the educational qualification. And the fourth one is political neutrality, which means Bureaucrats are liable to implement the policies of whichever party comes to power. So party interest should not reflect in their work, so they should act neutrality. That is political neutrality. And the fifth one is professionalism. Every government employee bureaucracy in India. Have you noticed the information of Kerala Public Service Commission for the recruitment to the government services? So this is the initial step for the recruitment of employees to the various departments of the government. Then persons are selected on the basis of merit after screening test, interviews and appointed in different governmental offices. So all those who are appointed in this way are part of the civil services of India. So all the employees who are work under the central and the state governments and the employees under the public sector undertakings are part of the Indian civil service. So here is a chart showing the classifications of Indian civil service. First one is All India Service. It include recruits at national level and appoints in the central or the state services. For example, the Indian Administrative Service and the Indian Police Service. And another classification is the Central Service, that is there recruits at the national level and appoints in the central government departments only, that is the Indian Foreign Service IFS and the Indian Railway Service. Then the third and the last classification is the state service. It includes recruits at the state level and appoints in the state government departments only, for example sales tax manager. So the candidates to All India services and the central services are recruited by the Union Public Service Commissions, and the chairman and the number of these commissions are appointed by the President of India. The UPSCC has elaborated the mechanism for the recruitment of candidates based on the qualifications. Going to certain administrative reforms in India. So as we all know that a number of steps are taken by the government for increasing the efficiency for the services and to provide services to the people in a time. So they are known as administrative reforms. Administrative reforms means what certain steps taken by the government in order to increases what the efficiency of services that is provided to the people in a time bound manner. So this intention is to make administration people friendly and efficient. For this, the government constitute administrative reforms commission at the national and the state level. Administration was e-governance. So e-governance is the use of electronic technology in the administration. This helped to obtain government services easily in a speedily manner. So the development attained in the field of science and technology should be utilized in the administrative sector also. So e-governance is the use of what an electronic technology in the administration. So the single window system for the administration to the high secondary courses, online applications for various scholarship, etc. are the examples of what e-governance. So there are certain benefits for the e-governance. First one is it can receive services with the help of information technology. Then the need not to wait in government offices for services. The government services offered speedily and with less expense. Efficiency of offices and the quality of the services get enhanced. So these are the important benefits of e-governance. Administrative reforms is right to information. Collect information from any government office about its working. People got this opportunity under the Right to Information Act 2005. So the Right to Information Act ensure that it give you a right to collect information from any government offices about its working. So that is what right to information. And another, right to service. The Right to Service Act is a law which ensures services to the people, and this law determines the time limit for every services given by the government offices. Another one is the Lokpal and the Lokpal and Lokayukta are the institutions that is constituted to prevent corruptions at the administrative, bureaucratic and the political level. So the institutions constituted at the national level to prevent corruption in Lokpal. So Lokpal has the power to the register cases on the issues of corruption against employees and the public workers and can suggest necessary actions. So, and on the other hand, Lokayukta is the institutions constituted at the state level to hear the corruption cases. Both of them follow what a judicial procedure.
The administration of any country reflects the merits and potentialities of the people of that particular country. So there should be an increasing need to study the need and importance of public administration in our daily life. I hope all of you understand the need and the importance of public administration. Thank you.